All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. I'm Dave. This is the Real Music Observer, just doing what I do, observing real music in real time for real people just like you right there and just like me right here. You know, if you're a Styx fan, you gotta be digging the new Dennis DeYoung track, the one he recorded with Jim Peterick, which I believe the song will be appearing on both albums, the new Dennis DeYoung album and the Jim Peterick's World Stage album, the album courtesy of Frontiers Music. Smartly, their president convinced Dennis to record one more time, and he's given us so far one just fantastic, triumphant, spiritual, just a great song which will harken back to the days of like Pieces of Eight or Cornerstone in that vicinity. A really great retro Styx sounding tune. And I'm wondering if Styx fans know about the song. If you haven't heard it yet, you need to go listen to it. The tune is called Proof of Heaven. What's interesting about the song is Dennis has dropped all pretense of being this rock star who has to have this rock star persona, which I find kind of refreshing. He's a music man first, and a lyricist, a composer, an arranger, and when you hear this song, you'll really appreciate the fact that his vocals, his vocal cords, amazingly intact, and very little difference between Dennis now and Dennis back in his heyday. I'm sure there are a few notes that Dennis would probably want to avoid singing, but I believe that he can sing pretty much everything he wants to sing at a very high level of competency. The song itself deals with really kind of like life or death type issues and things that people think about, especially when they see that their life, the sun is beginning to set on their life and they're contemplating, things like the afterlife and all the struggles the world is going through and what the world will be like in, 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. Dennis DeYoung gets you thinking in the song. In fact, I had one person send me a message saying, wonder if Christian radio would play this song. And I'm like, yeah, the song would be too good for Christian radio. Christian radio is going the way of a lot of other formats where the music really stinks. A friend of mine, Bill, has got a radio station in Ohio, and he just fired up a classic Christian music format, which I think is a great idea because Christian radio and Christian music had a heyday. It probably was from the late 1980s through about maybe 2006 or so, maybe 2008. Over the last 10 years, you've seen the quality on that format just take a nosedive. But the new Dennis song, would it fit on Christian radio? Lyrically speaking, it's a little open-ended. It's not talking about any one religion or anything, but you do hear about angels and saints. And I think Dennis, from what I can tell, is probably Roman Catholic. He posted about when Notre Dame over in France went up in flames. Of course, he did the Hunchback of Notre Dame, so you got to think to yourself that if anybody would weigh in on such a tragedy, it would be Dennis DeYoung. For Styx fans, there's a couple of breeds of Styx fans. There's Styx fans that get Dennis, that understand what he's about, who he is, and they just accept him. And then there are Styx fans that say, you know what, Styx was always a real hard rockin' band, and Dennis just, muddied things up with his schmaltzy, cheesy. You hear this all the time. Dennis DeYoung is so cheesy. Yeah, well, it's the cheese that brought home the bacon, people. I mean, if you look at the chart hits, and by the way, I'm not saying it's not cheesy. I'm saying that people, for the most part, like some of the cheese, you know? Now, if you can't deal with it, then don't listen to it. That's what I always say to everybody. But I think the fact that you had a Dennis in the group, and you could, by the way, you could level the same thing on Paul McCartney in the Beatles. I mean, Silly Love Songs, that's a bit of a cheesy song, right? Let 'Em In, Let 'Em In is a very cheesy song, but people liked it, right? No More Lonely Nights, I can go down, there's a list of them. But when you look back in history, you're going to remember great melodies, and Dennis DeYoung knows how to create great melodies. Now, if you want blazing guitars and no melody, well, there's a lot of different bands you can go to for that stuff. What was great about Dennis, and what apparently is still great about Dennis, is he's still able to deliver when it comes to great songwriting and great melody. So for Styx fans, Proof of Heaven is a real treat, and the more you hear the song, the more it makes you think about your own mortality, about real life issues, and about how a rock star can grow out of being a rock star, but still be a music man. And that's what Dennis DeYoung is all about. All right, done with this video. Be back soon, and I'll see you then.